Hey guys, Solar Kneecaps here with the first episode of Let's Get Good, where I, a absolute dumpster fire of a chess player, show you all some of my games, at least one win, one loss, and we try to learn something from it, try to improve. Listen, this isn't anything like the TFT. I am not good at chess. I mean, you can see my rating there. So if I call the opponents garbage, if I'm going to call myself garbage, that's just going to be the name of the game. I'm sorry. This isn't. If you're trying to learn some deep dive lines, you're not going to learn it from me. But, I'm a struggling chess player. I'm there in the trenches. I'm going to have a standard disclaimer of every time where, listen, I'm trash, but together we can become a giant ball of trash and maybe we can get good. So let's get good. Episode 1. We got 3 games for y'all, 2 pretty solid ones, and then a quickie. So these are all going to be from the black side of pieces, and I'm going to be playing the same opening against the E4. What are we playing? We're playing the Sicilian. Let's go. And I know what you're saying. I'm pretty low elo to be playing Sicilian. And you're right. But we in here. You got to believe me. And I only play one type of Sicilian. I'm not playing every mumbo-jumbo Russian variation. That's for sure. Because there's definitely too many lines and there's definitely too much theory. So here I just kind of go for the Hyper Accelerated Dragon. Big fan of this. Highly recommend y'all check it out. There's plenty of great resources on YouTube, and you might find a couple of tricks here, but definitely go find other sources to look for openings, ideas, concepts, everything else. So here, we're kind of getting this weird kind of like delay Alapin sort of thing. I'm just developing. And this is rudimentary stuff about how you deal with the C3. You take and then you push D4 here, and then typically the only moves are taking and pushing, where, if they take, you're just going to go here, start attacking, you got double attack here on the pawn, they're going to develop, and then boom, and now you're just kind of playing chess, bring the knights out, redefend, castle, bust out the bishops, super easy peasy, nice open, nothing crazy. And what's nice is that when they're trying to do this whole C3 idea is that they really want to kind of keep this strong center, but they kind of blow that up immediately, and now they're going to have to play against a isolated pawn position. The other idea is that they'll make your bishop bite on granite, but that's no big deal. You can go ahead, develop your knights, develop your bishop, and eventually you're going to do something like, let's just play some moves. You're going to do something in this sort of vein where you're going to create this nice pawn chain, and then eventually bring your, again, we're just going to play moves to play news just to show the ideas. You're going to castle, and then you're probably going to like take, and then boom, you're going to break through with this one pawn. They take, you can crack open, but there's also ideas too of you can actually, instead of doing that, you can actually bring your knight out into here, and you're starting to attack, and then you break through, and you're really just looking for a lot of different ideas, and it really depends on how your opponent develops. So that's why I'm just kind of playing some moves, but you want kind of this sort of structure, and you can really start breaking through it, and really at the end of the day you're just going to kind of have a pretty solid structure. But I have chess blindness, so when he went here, you're supposed to take. I just have never seen it, so I just kind of pretended like nothing of that ever happened. And in terms of all these other moves, it's the same ideas, like talk about getting your bishop out of there. Finally I actually take, and we're doing normal stuff, attacking the pawn, and then he pushes it. He pushes this pawn. He's coming at me. He's coming right for me. But, I play a lot of these sort of like modern-ish style. I'm used to pressure. I can absorb it, no problem. And, I see a nice square for it. You really have to, not really 2 options, but I mean, you gotta have some options on where you want to bring this knight. And I think these are the only 2 good ones according to the engine. So I bring it over here, get some tempo on the queen, make him ask what he's doing over there. It's kind of in a weird position, and you're kind of getting the same tactical ideas when you're normally attacking this after you sack your bishop. Well, not sack your bishop, but trade your bishop. And he brings it down. So here is another idea. Obviously, he's attacking. We're doing a little bit of tactics here. Boom, we busting that over to the other side. We're attacking the queen. We're defending the knight. We're asking, what does he want to do? And what's hilarious in this position, there's really only one good move, and that's like bringing it back here. And now you're also just playing chess, but I mean now you have so many options on. You can start pressuring out here. You can start kicking in. I mean you're the show's on the road. You're essentially turned a queen into a bishop. That's pretty good. And guys, you got to watch out. Protect your queens. He spends a whole minute on this move, and y'all probably saw. I mean, you definitely like why would it's kind of weird that this is really the only like move that seems to be decent. Like, you turn your queen into a bishop. That can't be good. Like, that seems like an awful square for it. And I don't care what, like, long-term ideas of, like, pressuring the h-file. That can't be right. What's wrong with this one? The silent h6. And we in here, that queen's locked down. Every single square is getting ready to get assaulted, except for one. And which, of course, is where he, well, he doesn't actually bring it to, you know, he just decides to get rid of it, and he calls it a day after that. But, of course, naturally, if you go here, I mean, you're just, it's, what, you know, we're done. We're done here. Your boy's up 9 points of material. But that's the line. We'll go ahead and play it from full again. So, again, you know, these are just pretty solid moves. You know, here we can even show the analysis, so you can see, like, these are all just general book moves. And we can go over kind of like, you know, here I'm supposed to take, but I just didn't. So there's some general blunder here. But you can see, like, the eval bar is pretty steady. So even though you're not making these sort of, like, super optimal moves and this, like, you know, hyper ceiling, like, it's just evens. Like, we're stabilizing, you know, we're as a black side. There's nothing wrong with that here. And yeah, you just see that eventually you saw the best move for him was to take it. Wow, what a great move, taking this queen. Wow, so smart. It's okay to be trash sometimes, man. We all get our queen stuck. But now, here's the second game. I'm going to spoil it to y'all. This is the one that I lost. It's not great. I'm so sad. But again, you know, we're doing what we love. We're doing some classic. Oh, let me go ahead. Wow, I actually have to silence here. If I probably refresh this, does that, because I disabled noise. Let's see if that allows me to, does that disable the noise? Excellent, it does. So, we got a more Sicilian action. Let's go. And now we have, I think it's called like the Brawler attack. I see this all the time. Essentially, the idea is that they like only play Italian. So they're just like, oh, Sicilian, let me just play an Italian. But this is a legitimate opening. I've even seen some people bring out their queen and think they're special by attacking this. But no harm, no foul, nothing crazy here. You know, it's just a bunch of pieces, and I'm actually
I've skipped this position a lot, so I'm pretty comfortable in here, and I know I can just fianchetto. He's actually castling, which gives me the opportunity to bring the knight out. And again, he's kind of going for this sort of like, at this point, I guess it's not really the sort of Alapin Sicilian anymore. I think it's what is like a Gucci piano or there's, I know Eric Rosen talks about like in this kind of concept about playing this in order to fight for the center, but you're not playing an Italian, man. You're playing a Sicilian. Like this is different. This doesn't work. And when you're allowed to castle in these sort of situations, that allows you to get your knight out here, which just gives you so much more center control and allows me to kind of slow play it a little bit. So when he's moves the pawn, I'm moving the pawn. And then he comes in here, we take, and we're pushing. And then it's just a simple counting exercise. 1, 2, plus 1. There you go. It's easy. It's just that easy. It's simple. So again, we're making good moves here. You know, bringing out the knight out to defend. You know, really basic stuff. We're castling, getting it out of the way. You know, here he's attacking the knight, and really there's two options. Again, you know, we always have this sort of bishop idea. Now that we're castled, we can go ahead and you know, get some value, take the pawn, play with our own isolated pawn position, but we're going to be a pawn up. Yeah, but I kicked, you know, okay, you can kick it. That's fine. That's fine. And we're kicking it, you know, we're getting it out of the way. It's looking down this diagonal, yippity-doo, like there's nothing there. It's just sighting. It's just gazing. It's just gazing. Like, who cares if the thing's over here? It don't even matter. Now I finally pin this, and I'm like, okay, let's go. He attacks it, boom. And now it's time to take this pawn. I don't take the pawn. I just don't take the pawn. I don't know why. I have chess blindness, I swear. I'm just like, I still see my king here. I don't know why. I just see my king right here, looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. It's right there, I swear. So I kick it. Thankfully, he doesn't take, because the general idea is like, that's not good, because now we're just evens. It's literally, I mean, look at the eval bar. We got nothing here. Like, it's, in a classical game, this is probably a draw, but, you know, who knows what's going to happen now, but it's going to just be a long road. But thankfully, he backs up. I continue pushing, because I still saw this idea, but for some reason, I just thought I wanted to get this bishop out of the way. I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, I take it, and he moves to defend, and I just decide to take a little piece. And all this is fine. You know, we're getting some value up, and then little cheeky idea. This is my one good idea of trapping this bishop. You know, after watching a lot of games, you know, some of the bots, this is like one of their favorite things, is just making pieces absolutely worthless. And I'm coming in here, I'm just Oh yeah, here's the other thing is after he took here, I mean, again, easy counting exercise. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And I'm like, well, I can't defend that shit, so let me just remove an attacker. Easy peasy. And then we push that bishop's out of the game. I pretty much won, right? Easy. Nothing going wrong here. Boom, an excellent move. Wow, Scott. Fantastic. But no, it's, I mean, no, it is actually a good move. And then he comes in here. Now here's the dilemma. Here's my dilemma, and this is so hard. Chess is so hard. So because it's for a lot of reasons, but here's the fact is that I didn't know what to do here. I really didn't know what to do here. There's a million and one different moves, and the 3 that are the only good moves is halfway because I decided to overextend on my pawns here. If these pawns were right here, that would at least give me some chances. You know, maybe I can move out. Nah, I don't know. Like, you know, I'm willing to sack up, you know, sack this isolated pawn and just have a better position. Like, maybe I can, you know, start getting some play. Again, like, since this bishop is so bad. But here we go. So since I pushed all my pawns, all of the, here are the best moves. Got queen here, rook here, and rook here. Why? Because I didn't see the fact that this is so fucking weak. It's not even funny. This boy, I just came in here like, oh yeah, let's just queen trade. Ain't nothing but a G thing, right? Dude, at any moment he can just come up in here, and you're gonna see it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. So I'm just desperate. I'm like, yo, queen trade, cuh. Like, this is one of my worst weaknesses. Is like, as soon as I know I'm in a really good position, I'm like, all right, get the queens off the board. Let's play some rook ed games. Let's get it. I'm essentially a knight up. I'm finna jump in here. It's all good. Let's get it. I'm finna get in here. Don't you worry. And he's like, nah. And I'm like, okay, well, let me. And then he starts saying the eval though, and boom, the infiltration has happened. It's too late now. It's long gone. This queen is in here. And I don't know. I'm like, okay, let me defend the. I have nothing. I have nothing. My piece coordination is garbage. He takes a pawn. I'm like, all right, I'll take one too. He takes another pawn with check. I'm like, all right, yeah, what do you think about this? He gets the queen out, and now, God, oh, this infiltration. It was so bad. And needless to say, from here, my king is just so weak. I just. It's garbage. This is hot fucking garbage. I'm not gonna lie. And you know, eventually I also have this trouble where I just get absolutely tilted. Let's just look at my clock here. I felt like I have so much time, right? Like when we were here, I was at 7 minutes, and then I'm just churning, just spending just way too long on all these moves. Just, I mean, some of these checks, like I don't have, but I'm just like, all of a sudden now I'm down to like, boom, I'm down to like 3.5 minutes, and it's just pieces get sacked, and eventually, you know, I'm you know, -2. It's completely gone. You know, I thrown a cheeky check. I think I have something, and yeah, there's a million and one blunders here. One, I mean, he's just gonna take the pawn, which as soon as I moved, I saw. I'm like, great, and then I do something even worse, and I just get rid of my rook because apparently I don't need that, and I just fling my king out there. I don't care. I scoop it up. So let that be a lesson. You know, we can let's go back again. Let's take the self-analyze off, and like, it's that's the amazing thing about chess is that you're gonna watch here. It's like, okay, I made like 2 bad moves, right? I just made 2. I'll actually check what the accuracy was for the most part, but I was like, okay, yeah, all these are good book moves. Moving that, defending with the knight, excellent. You know, it likes castling, but it wants you to push up the bishop. It's like, okay, kick it. You know, that gives him a chance to take, which we don't want. So we're just taking it again. We're taking here. He takes with the queen. So this concept was just awful, and you know, still I'm winning. You know, I'm about, you know, I'm a, you know, pawn up. And the eval bar is showing the pawn up. It actually doesn't like that idea of pushing, but it works out in the end. And then, of course, the infiltration happens, and you see this, the eval bar just start tanking with the swiftness. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's so painful. Oh, it's bad. It's real bad. Well, it's so bad. But, you know, again, it's just understanding all of the concepts of your opening on all of your ideas and just not blundering. And it's just seeing your opponent's attack and what your opponent's queen can do. I mean, we saw him get trapped. We saw a queen get trapped and just won the game from there. And then we just saw, that queen came back and decided like, oh, you think I heard you trap? No, I'm coming for you. And it fucking demolished me. So last game here. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. But again, we have another Sicilian. Let's go. Okay, some normal stuff. We're developing. All right, some basic things here. Okay, he's going to take with the, normally, you have something like this. And, actually this is totally playable. People do this all the time, developing night. And now we're just playing chess. Everything's honky-dory. But here, he actually takes with the queen. Now, this is actually a pretty common thing. I actually usually see it mostly in these sort of like Smith Moras, but as like a really interesting like alternative, like if they don't want a gambit for some reason. But here there's like a general concept. This is kind of book stuff where, they're attacking with the pawn. Nah, you ain't. You think you attacking me? No, I'm attacking you. Boom, bust the knight out. And here is an interesting move. So traditionally, they go here and you can kind of, bring your knight out. And eventually the idea is, bringing the knight out over here, taking over here, and you're just developing. And you're going to have a pretty solid position. You're kind of like if you ever done some 2-knight Frenches and 2-knight Carlsens will kind of have this sort of concept, which is why I don't mind this line. They'll move the one out there. And, whenever they don't have, if they just do straight out of the, do this order without the, out of the Smith Mora. Let's say like this, here, and you go here, take, boom, and they do the same idea. And then now you can take, and literally like you're in such a good position because you just come back, and now you're essentially this one pawn for their 2 central pawns, which in the Smith Mora you want to give up these 2, not these 2, which changes some of the dynamics a little bit. But needless to say, if y'all are in this position, again, if they do, there's a lot of different places they can put this queen, honestly. There's like 17 different squares. I know it's not possible, but trust me. But here, there's actually a couple of options. So if you want to play the best move, you come here. They don't, again, he doesn't have a lot of options. Maybe he comes to attacks the queen, you could take. If he passants, you just take back with the knight. Or if he just does something else, then you can just kind of start defending, what have you. But there's actually a nice little trappy variation that I just recalled in the back of my head from watching a couple of videos, because YouTube is the greatest way to learn anything. And you guys see that I was in the tank. I was like, wait a minute, isn't there something here? And I remembered. It took me like 20 seconds to remember. Boom. Interesting move, right? It's sacking a piece. It's a bit questionable. Maybe why? Because of this reason. Oh, look at that eval bow go up. We smack him. We say, hey, yo, bring that ass here, girl. And we take that shit. We take that. It's pinned. It's a goner. We're here. And in this position, there's also a funny thing that y'all have to remember, too, is that it's like, even when y'all are in a winning position like this, usually if you kind of like look up something on YouTube and they're like, and then you won, and then there's not talking like about anything else, but you're still like in a position. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you're up 3 points of material. Like you got the queen for 2 pieces, which is pretty good, but like you still got a lot of chess to play. And like, you got this scary pawn already pushed up. Like this bishop is looking like hot garbage. Like how are you going to get these rooks into the game? So again, just to let y'all know, if y'all are in this position, your main threat is this right here. Literally his only good moves are these 3 of moving the fucking moving the king or the bishop just like this. Because I don't know if he does something like, I don't know, he's like, get that knight out of here, boom, you got yourself the classic fork, eat him up, you get more material, you're +5, you're looking fine. But probably the most natural looking one is that here you develop because you have a chance to castle and you defend this, and then boom, now you're just taking. And you'll say the castle, and now frankly you have a lot of options. You can start taking the center, you can castle, everything's you're looking pretty good now, and you can actually start developing. So remember that this is kind of like your main idea once you're out of this. And here's the other interesting part is that technically, you'll see it's like the eval bar isn't a big fan of this. So, here it's like, it's like pretty even, and then it kind of flops over to like what is it? Like, it's apparently you lose your advantage here. But let it be known that the best move here is actually bringing the knight out, which is kind of hard to find, even if you know that this is coming. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if people just kind of move out of the way. And the crazy thing is that even then, you have some options in terms of your moves, because even if you play this and they play this move, boom, and now they actually only have 3 squares. This boy is limited. So say here, again, just trying to keep some of the tension. Like, you have a lot of options in terms of what you can play, and frankly, you can just do it easy. Now you're just bringing the bishop out here, and you're castling, and eventually you're just gonna fight over this isolated pawn, and you're just being chilling. So even then, like, this is kind of hard to defend. Like, they're gonna have to move the knight, they're gonna have to push this up, like this bishop. Like, look, where do you even, if you want to look how cramped this is. We castle, like, just some normal moves just to get your pieces on the board. Look how much, like, even though this bishop isn't great, but I'm like, look how everything is just all clumped up. Boy, this is not it. This is just not it. So this is, again, just kind of showing a fun little trappy variation of, careful, guys. If y'all are Smith Mortal players, or y'all some guys that like to try to do this queen round, make sure you're checking what you're doing, because if not, you can get clapped with it. You can get hit with it. But anyway, so, and then this is when it ended, once he saw that we had that fork, and goes to +8, and the game is over. I mean, at this point, we're just sitting pretty. There's nothing. I mean, that's it. That's the game. So hope y'all learned something. Again, we're just out here having fun. Chess is not the easiest game in the world to learn. So I'm hoping y'all stay with the journey. Maybe learn a little something, but for the most part, just, if there's any particular openings you want me to try out, I have a handful of knowledge on a couple of openings, but there's ones that I'm more comfortable in. And, there's little nuggets. The hope is that there's little nuggets, just the tiniest little nuggets of information that will actually help you on your games. But for the most part, we're just out here roasting. We're out here roasting everybody else. We're just here to have a good time, but and we're here to get good. So hope y'all enjoy the video. Let me know if y'all like it. Post down in the comments below how much how bad everything is. I guess since we did it for all the others, we'll go ahead and just play out the line here. Here we go. And yeah, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Links for my Twitch down in the description. Watch me climb on my master's TFT account. Watch me play chess. Watch me play Minecraft? Question mark? Maybe. But anyway, hope y'all had a good time. Hope y'all learned a little bit of something, and hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your day.